It's Iron Mike. Welcome to the swamp. Today I'm going to give you an introduction to slide guitar. When I first started playing, there was no YouTube. There were very few slide guitar players out there, and not a lot of material. And what there was a few books here and there, and a lot of them had misinformation in them. So I'm hopefully going to show you and explain to you some things about getting into slide guitar that'll make your experience a little easier, to help you figure your way around slide guitar a little faster in the beginning. First question people ask is, should I have a special guitar for slide guitar? And you don't need a special guitar. The guitar you have is fine. You know, it's just like playing any other style of guitar. It's really up to the sound that you're trying to get, the guitar that's comfortable for you and what you can afford. I'm using a PRS today. I've been using PRS for a while. I like these guitars. I've used several others, Gibsons, Fenders, you name it. I've used it for slide over the years. A lot of times people will tell you to get a flatter radius neck. Flatter radius, like a 12-inch radius, does make slide guitar a little bit easier in the beginning. But I've known guys to use all different kinds of guitars with different neck radiuses, from classic Fenders with just over a 7-inch radius to modern Fenders are 9.5. This has got a 10-inch radius. I've used Jacksons before, which have a really flat, wide neck. So that kind of stuff is, again, things that are going to be part of your preference, and the style of music and the way you decide to approach slide are going to affect those choices. So let's talk about strings. When I first started playing, the prevailing knowledge was you wanted really heavy strings, and you wanted your action really high off the neck so that you didn't fret out. What I've found is I don't need to raise my action on my guitars. Just using heavier strings, the tension of the strings, for me is enough to keep me from fretting out. Plus I like to use really light slides, so I don't have a lot of weight on the strings to start with. I came out with a set of strings through Kurt Mangan Strings last year that I think is a good starting point for people who play electric slide guitar. And those strings are they're just slightly heavier than average on the low side. And then really heavy on the high side. So the thin strings are strengthened to keep it from fretting out, but the low strings aren't so heavy that you can't fret and move around. So those strings, if you go to kurtmangan.com and look for their electric slide strings, that's, I think, a great place for even beginners to start. You may decide, like Sonny Landreth, I think, uses 13s. And I've known people like Johnny Winter used 11s. There's a lot of variation, just depending on the weight of the slide you use and your technique and your style of playing. So when playing slide guitar, you have the option of using a lot of different tunings. It's one of the fun things about slide guitar, especially open tunings. An open tuning is where when you strum the guitar, you have an open chord without fretting any notes. I tune to open E. That is E, B, E, G sharp, B, E. E, B, E, G sharp, B, E. That's the tuning Duane Allman used. Derek Trucks uses it. Sonny Landreth uses it, among other tunings. Billy Gibbons has used it. Lots of famous slide guitar players have used it. I also play slide in standard tuning from time to time. Guys like Warren Haynes and Earl Hooker use standard tuning. There are several other tunings. Open G is real popular. Bonnie Raitt, Eric Sardinas used open G. I can play an open G. It's not that difficult, but for the most part, most of the songs that I've written are in standard tuning or open E, so most of the time that's what I use. Your tuning will depend upon, again, the style of music you want to play, and sometimes it has a lot to do with what you're comfortable, what keys you're comfortable singing in, especially if you want to use pull-offs and things like that. One of the things that I like about open tuning is, especially with open E, the low string and the high string are both E strings, and it makes it easy for a beginner to get going with slide guitar. So what happens is you can play chords. There's your E chord, there's your 4, your A chord, there's your 5, your B chord. So if you walk up the neck, whatever note this is, that's what key you're in, going up the neck all the way to E again. So it makes it really easy for a beginner just to start strumming along with recordings or just figuring out the basics of playing rhythm to a song that you enjoy. It's just really simple. Easy stuff. Just use your finger and find those power chords, and that'll just kind of get you started playing rhythm. Again, to find the chord that you need, just remember this is E, the open string, F sharp, G sharp, A, all the way up the neck back to E. Easy, 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 easy. Same thing with playing just simple slide licks, just finding your way around slide guitar. Especially if you're playing the blues, the minor pentatonic scale is really easy to find in this tuning. So E, we have E up here on the 12th fret, and if I use between the 10th and the 12th fret, a lot of these notes here, and we'll get into this in a future video, make up the minor pentatonic scale for E. And then if I were in A, and then B, back to A. That's your tunings. Just an introduction, and again in upcoming videos we'll get into scales and working your way around open tunings in more depth. All right, let's talk about slides. All kinds of different slides. Metal slides. I'm using a piece of copper pipe that my dad cut for me almost 20 years ago. I like copper slides like this because they're super, super light. And so I can use them on just about any guitar, no matter how heavy or light the strings are. I can use this and play real quick. And I just like the copper slides. You can get porcelain slides. You can get heavier metal slides made out of steel or brass or whatever material you want. You can get glass slides. Very popular in the glass category is Jimmy Dunlop makes Pyrex slides. I personally prefer the sound of actual real blown glass slides over Pyrex, but Pyrex is very, very close to the same sound, and they're a whole lot cheaper than having somebody blow you a new glass slide every time you break one. You can get them in different wall thicknesses. That makes a difference. It makes a difference what finger you play on. I use my pinky because I use a lot of fret behind the slide technique. It leaves all these fingers open to play other notes behind the slide. That's why I use my pinky finger. Duane Allman, Derek Trucks, they use their ring finger. I think Bonnie Raitt uses her middle finger. I can't promise, but it seems like she does. So all those things make a difference. I recommend that you play around and experiment and find what works for you. I know that it makes a difference in my vibrato what finger that I put it on. When I have it on my pinky finger, my vibrato is easiest to play a really fast, tight vibrato. If I switch to my ring finger, I tend to have a lazier, wider sound in my vibrato. So all of these things, slide guitar is amazing because it is such a unique sound. Each person who plays slide guitar has a unique vocal quality to the way that they play slide, and all of that stuff is affected by all these little things. It's not enough people realize that the slide guitar is an extremely versatile instrument, and I wish there were more slide guitar players out there because we've got plenty of room for everyone. Different players use different amps. Amps aren't a big deal. It's whatever you decide. Your effects and things like that are things that I'll go over in future videos. But what I recommend, get yourself a guitar, put a little bit heavier strings on them. If you don't want to order the Kurt Mangan strings, you just want to get something local, go get a set of maybe 11s and try that at first. Throw those on your guitar. Get yourself a slide. You know, pick one. Maybe get one for your pinky finger and one for your ring finger, and just play around with it and see what feels most comfortable to you. Another thing real quick before I forget is picks. Some people are finger style players. You know, Duane Allman. You know, they're finger style players. Derek Trucks is a lot of slide guitar players are just finger style. Some guys use picks. Some guys use finger and thumb picks. That's the way I do. I like to have a thumb pick so I can get chunky. I want that chunky sound when I'm playing rhythm, but at the same time I want to be able to do some of the finger style work, like some of the maybe more country or bluegrass influenced slide guitar riff. It's something that you're going to have to determine for yourself. Obviously, if you're used to playing with a flat pick and you've never played fingerstyle, you're going to have a learning curve. It's going to takes some time and some practice to get to where you can use your fingers. But it pays off. There's some things that you can do finger style that are difficult, if not almost impossible, to pull off when you're flat picking alone. So take what you've learned hopefully today in this video and practice for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be back and start working on some videos with tunings and scales and some techniques. And one of the things that I really want to get into is the fret behind the slide technique that my mentor Sonny Landreth uses. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time with that kind of thing. And a lot of time in open E. So if those kind of things interest you, you might want to check back to my YouTube page and see some of the videos that are coming out in the coming weeks and months. Till then, have fun with slide guitar. We'll see you then.